Hey there, Stashers. Welcome to episode 33 of the Craft Stash podcast. I'm your host, Kim.
Moi, ce que j'aime bien, c'est les glaces à la vanille, les glaces à la fraise et les glaces au chocolat. Mais celle que je préfère, c'est les glaces au citron. Une glace au citron. Ah, que c'est bon.
Hey, Stashers. It's Kim back in New York. Today is Sunday, June 10th, I believe. And today is part of Knittin' Public Week. So I am recording live from Lincoln Center. There is a very fun grassy knoll here at Lincoln Center. Lincoln Center is a performance space. It's a major attraction in New York City where a lot of opera happens, a lot of ballet happens, a lot of really cool classical performance art happens. And today, I'm staring out over what is a really cool sculpture, and there's a craft fair. And the American Craft Association is having some sort of street fair here, but it's on the premises of Lincoln Center, so there are lots of vendors selling really cool folk art kind of jewelry and clothing and paintings and photography. I did not see anyone selling any yarn or any super duper crafty materials, so my wallet was safe. I actually stopped by the craft fair because an artist, a jewelry artist that I really love, her name is Rebecca Froberg. She makes some really great earrings. I don't know if you guys can see my tiny little earring here. I had bought a set of earrings from her a little while ago, and because I lose all of my real jewelry, these are real gold earrings, and of course I lost one of them when I bought the pair last year, so I've been kind of stalking her, waiting for her to come to another craft fair in the city. I mean, she's based in Brooklyn, but I like to buy her stuff at craft fairs because she tends to give a discount. So I had to wait until today where she was selling again, and I just bought this one earring so that I can start wearing the pair again. So, yes. Welcome to new viewers, welcome to returning viewers, and those of you guys who watch the show pretty regularly will be wondering why this is episode 33 and not 32, and yes, sometimes I do make mistakes about the numbering of my shows, but today is actually episode 33. I put out a really quick bite-sized episode yesterday. I finally figured out a way to podcast from my phone. I figured out a way how to record, edit, and upload an episode from my phone. So I did that yesterday, and it was episode 32. You can only see it on YouTube right now. I'm trying to figure out podcast brand identity, all of that fun stuff. So yeah, take a quick look at episode 32. It's really crappy in terms of content. It was just a short 5-minute video that I posted from Greg's studio, but I think I want to try doing more of these mobile episodes. So this episode right now, episode 33, is also being shot on my phone. Probably going to go home and shoot a little bit more afterwards because there's a lot of stuff I want to talk to you guys about. So in terms of editing, it's going to be a little jumpy. We'll have some scenes of me here in Lincoln Center, and we'll have some other scenes somewhere else closer to home where there are fewer people and it's quieter. So let's just jump right into things, shall we? Hey, so let's talk about what I'm crafting. So in episode 32, I mentioned that I had finished the square scarf that I had started a couple of weeks ago. It's a scarf that was being worked in linen yarn. I believe the yarn was Claudia Hand-Painted's linen. And Claudia Hand-Painted, their linens are kind of variegated. So I had shown a picture of it on episode 32. Oh, there goes wind. I'm recording with my headphones on. By the way, if you're in the market for headphones, I highly recommend Urban Ears headphones. Oh, you can't see that one. Urban Ears, it's backwards, whatever. Just because they make really good in-ear headphones. And even though the wind is blowing, they pick up sound very well. And I have ears that are really hard to kind of fit earbuds into, but these have different sizes for the little catchy parts that hook into your ear, so they fit me really well. So if you're notoriously hard to find headphones for, I highly suggest you check out Urban Ears. Sorry, I'm holding up the mic because it's getting windy, so this is all kinds of hodgepodge, but that's why I like podcasting, because, it's DIY. Yes, so as I was saying, It's a very nice grassy knoll up here, but it's very windy. So yes, as I was saying, I finished the square scarf. And while I'm happy with the endeavor, the experiment, I'm not really happy with the finished product. This is what it looks like. So it's just a basic bias knit square that was, started off with 4 stitches, grew into stockinette stitch, and I added a lace panel and kind of added back in stockinette stitch, and then got to the diagonal point and started decreasing. And while I like it very much, if this was going to be a dishcloth, it would be awesome, but it's not going to be a dishcloth, so it's not awesome because it's not large enough and it doesn't fit very well. So I'm thinking that I might frog back to make it a shawl. Because it's such nice yarn, and I really want to figure out what linen ends up working up like and what linen ends up... I wish I had ice cream because then it would make sense for me to have my hand here. Yes, what linen ends up working out like. So in order not to kind of waste the yarn, I think I'm going to end up frogging back to the middle of this and just make it a shawl. So we'll see how that happens. But I have a finished object, and I guess that's what counts for now. If you watched episode 32, the bite-size episode, you know that I was planning to bring this to a special event that I'll talk to you about later. But I am going to SSK, the knitting and crochet retreat being hosted by Leslie and Laura of the Knit Girls and Karen of Round the Twist podcast. I somehow got one of the last minute spots, and I'm really excited to be going, and I'm going to be taking a class with Karen on blocking lace. So I figured I would bring this to kind of figure out how to block this best, because I want it to be a perfect square, and because it was knit on the bias, working from corner to corner instead of top to bottom, I'm just concerned that it's not going to block perfectly square. So we'll see what happens, especially if I end up frogging this thing. So yes, I have a finished object. So another thing that I'm crafting is I picked back up my Skywalker shawl, which is a shawl by Laura Nelkin. Laura has this pattern available for purchase on Ravelry and I think a couple of other places, but she's also got a class for the pattern up on craftsy.com. So I signed up for the class a couple of months ago and ended up putting down the shawl just because I was getting into the sections of lace that were a little bit more involved and I couldn't work on it on the subway, and I just, I just kind of needed to stop working shawls because I was working on 2 or 3 lacy things at the same time. So I picked this back up because I want to try and finish it in time for SSK. So I'm at the section of the shawl where we're doing what's called the nebula stitch. I'm actually working the plasma stitch. So let me see if I can show you a picture of it. So the plasma stitch actually looks like, you guys can't really see very well, but if these are little stars, these little weird ray gun looking lava things are the plasma stitch. And it's a really cool stitch when it's finished, but it involves a lot of wrapping and yarn overs and then dropping stitches, and I have figured out that I don't like dropping stitches several in a row, so this section is just kind of killing me because that's all it is. It's like you would, on a row below you'd wrap over like 5 or 6 times and then drop, so it makes for very wonky knitting after a little while, which again I'm sure it's going to block out very, very nicely, but for now it's driving me bananas. So I think I'm almost finished with this section and pretty soon I will get to some more of the interesting knitting, but until then it's slow going just because I don't like the lack of control. I know that like dropping stitches is supposed to be liberating, but for me it's kind of just like, am I dropping enough? Am I dropping the right one? It just screws up my tension. I just don't like this working the stitch, even though I'm sure it's going to look, I really do like the way it looks when it's done. So this yarn is Pagewood Farms by Glacier Bay or Glacier Bay by Pagewood Farms, and it's in their Grasshopper colorway, and I'm working this on my Haya size 4s, which are 3.5 millimeters, and these are the Haya sharps, even though I don't really consider them sharp because I have a pair of signature size 4s, which are really sharp. But yeah, so hopefully, I have 2.5 weeks, I think 17 days or something, until SSK, so I got to get on this. So after I stop recording, I'm just going to be sitting up here knitting for a little while. So that's what I've got to show you guys in terms of crafting, and when I have a chance and can sneak back to a quieter, less windy area, we'll talk about what I'm stashing.